you need to stop right now and assess what I'm going to show you in today's video. Now, if you're someone like me who's invested in cryptocurrency and you're someone who cares for a potential life-changing pot of cash at the end of this rainbow, then you have to listen up, because this, if done wrong, if you walk down that wrong path, you are literally going to screw things up. I'm not kidding you. Hear me out today. I want to show you, unfortunately, what crypto has led us into this trap. And ultimately, it's only thinking 1, 2, 3, maybe even a week in advance, right? It's thinking very narrow-mindedly because we're so concerned about waking up and assessing what our project's price is going to be that next morning. So with that being said, let's get into this very, very important video. Please like, subscribe, and let's go. So I want to introduce you to Jimmy. Jimmy might be you in this case, someone who's only concerned with maximum speaking the next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to be down. Thursday, Friday, hey, we're up. And Saturday, Sunday, well, we're down again. Typical crypto down on the weekends. If this is you, if you are someone who considers yourself an investor or wants to make money in 2025, not by trading, by buying, holding, and making money, then this is a very dangerous pattern to be in. What you need to be fundamentally thinking of instead is the next 24 months. You need to be progressing like this, not looking in the short term, looking at literally the end of the bull run, typically the last day. That last green candle we truly have at the blow-off top moment, if we have a blow-off top, then you need to be prepared for what comes next, the bear market, an endless sea of red. Now, why is this important? Well, in the next bear market, what do prices do? They're lower. What did we just come out of? A chance to make life-changing, maybe even generational wealth. So what's the next step? What do you do? Well, I want to talk about this today and show you my approach to what I'm going to be doing to capitalize on this. And again, it's going to apply back to what you're doing now. Do not get it twisted. This isn't something to like, oh, I'm looking at the future and the future is going to be in 2 years and I'll worry about making money first. I saw a comment, I've made this, mentioned this a few times in different videos now. I saw a comment about a few weeks ago of this guy saying, Kyron, let's just have a bull run first. Let's actually make money before we look at the next step. I want to say, looking at the next step, looking at this will help us make money. Let me talk to you more about it. But first, I want to wind the clock back a bit and tell you about something very important. There's 2 clear rules in crypto. 1, make as much money as possible. And 2, stay as safe as possible. Now, the second doesn't apply to everyone, but I think most people would like to say, I want to make money in the safest possible way. But what's the common denominator in this case? What are you trying to achieve? You see, answering this question, this common denominator, will actually apply to both of these rules, number 1 and number 2. Well, how? Well, in this case, you got to look at your goals. Now, I'll tell you about my goal first and then start bringing it up for you. Because if you think about it, if you know exactly what you're wanting to get at the end of this market, if you know I need to achieve this amount of money, then you know how many multiples you need to make to get there. You know how much risk you can afford to take. You know when your exits have to be placed at for you to achieve that goal, and you won't get overzealous. You won't feel FOMO, because at that point, you're not going to be thinking to yourself, I need to make more money, because you know the money you're making, it might even be a lot safer than what you think on these altcoins. You're going to be getting your goal. Now, I'll speak from my experience and then I'll touch on some of your possible goals in a minute here. My goal, for those who don't know, I got into crypto based on a real estate mindset. I told my dad before I even started buying altcoins, I said to him, Dad, he comes from a very similar mindset. All the money I make in crypto is going to be going straight back into property. That's all I'm going to be buying. I am a real estate man first and foremost, right? And that still stands very much so. But of course, I've fallen in love with this industry. So my goal is to still buy property, buy them outright, own the properties, rent them out, and gain 2 forms of, value essentially, right? One will be the equity made from the capital appreciation of the property and the land. The second will be mainly, which will allow me to retire effectively in the next 2-3 years, is going to be from, rental yield, okay? So for me, 1, owning enough property to net a yearly income of minimum $80,000. This is net, not gross. This is what I'm saying. I want profit. I want exact in my bag, minimum $80,000 per year without even lifting a finger. Number 2, allocating another $100,000 to $200,000 into crypto. That's what I want. So I just want to achieve, that's my end goal here, and then have enough money to put some, long-term money back into crypto. So we have to assess things, right? So the cost of housing, areas of high rental yield, and also areas of capital growth. Again, capital growth pretty much means the land and the house value itself. appreciating as the price of those things go up over time. So we have to assess a few things. Now, I'm not going to get into gross detail here. I just want to provide you enough information to maybe help some of you if you're in the similar situation as me, or if you're someone that just simply wants to have a look at what it takes, because effectively what we're doing is we're looking at the end goal and then just working back onto smaller time frames, dividing by maybe by 12 by months, and then dividing by, of course, weeks, 4 or by 52 basically. Right? So you're dividing from the end goal to work back. You'll see how I do it in a minute here. So, this is just from a website, of course. The most capital growth / high rental yield properties in Australia. Of course, different states have different options here. But, I might pick 2 over here. This one, the ACT, where the median sale price for a house is $500,000, $600,000. While that's quite low, considering the yield is quite a lot, 6%, almost 6% itself. So that's quite high rental yield, okay? So in this case, look at these 2 things. And again, this could be something different for you, as we'll look at in a minute here. And so what I'm thinking to myself is I'm going to take the property, right, which again might be between $500,000 to $600,000. We'll use $600,000 because that's the higher of the 2. Always over-exaggerate. I should probably even go $700,000 really. But the reason why I've gone with $600K is because housing markets will most definitely collapse in the next 5 or so years in the next bear market. So from today's prices, chances are they'll be 10 to 20% cheaper. Cool. That's what I'm looking at, right? Now I have to also assess, well, how many of these properties do I have to actually own to achieve my goal of netting, again, profit in my wallet, $80,000 per year. So $600,000 for a house by how many? Well, if we work it out, right, so again, we're going to work it out based on how much, passive income I want. So $600 a week per property, right? We times that by 4 properties, we get $112,000 a year. That's gross, right? That's before all the, things like insurance and stuff are being thrown in. Now, if we look at expenses, insurance, rates, all these different things, they come to about $8,000 per year per property. This does fluctuate. Again, we want to overestimate. Obviously, 8,000 by 4 is what, 32. So we take 32,000 by 112,000, and that comes to just over my $80,000 a year net income. But we want to also incorporate crypto as well. As you guys know, I want to buy some crypto. I'm a crypto dude after all. Therefore, I must make enough to purchase 4 properties, plus, let's over-exaggerate, let's put 200,000 in. And so let's go 600,000 times 4 is 2.1 million, plus 200K is 2.3. Cool. So I have to make net, right? Net, I have to actually profit here, 2.3 million. But hang on, as many of you guys, which I appreciate, mentioned in the comments, tax. What about tax? Tax is a big thing anywhere around the world, apart from like some of your lucky countries out there. So we have to factor that in. Now, luckily for me, this will all be done through the business, through No BS Crypto. So I won't have to worry about all these, the higher tax bracket system. I have a company, I run it through the company. So of course I get a 20% flat fee. Yes, I don't get the tiered system, but overall it works out better for me. So in this case, if we include the 20% tax on all my profit, I have to actually make 2.8 million. So that's an extra over $500,000 in order for me to get that $2.3 million goal. So that now becomes my goal. Okay, so if you look here, right? If I invest $100,000 right now, and I'm working back, I need to roughly 30x my portfolio overall. That to be $3 million to achieve this. Now I know where I can set up my exit levels. So at all my altcoins now, I work backwards, right? I look back and I go, hey, these are my altcoins. Are these going to 30x? Realistically speaking, let's look at price predictions for a second here. Let's have a look at exit levels, because again, you could just bang, sell it all at the max price prediction, but is it going to hit that price prediction? That's a very hard thing to assess. So what I always tell you guys, ladder sell, make it nice and safe. Okay, so again, you won't want to be going for these max predictions. You want to bring it down and sell, lower and higher than that, okay, ideally speaking. So in this case, this will allow us to become more acute. Okay, well, we have to buy under this level, for this altcoin. Otherwise, we're not going to 30x. Therefore, I'm not going to achieve it. So why am I even buying the altcoin for? No point me buying Bitcoin, mine's 5x. What's the point of that? I'm going to have to put in a lot of money. I don't have that kind of money. I have 100K. So you can see where the problems start to unravel, okay? And so this is why it's very important, and you don't follow people that say, look at the short term. You don't want to look at the short term. You have to look at your end goals in order for you to be able to achieve the end goals. You're just shooting blind, right? And so for you guys, right? Again, it's crucial you work back to find these sort of things. But it's for you, it might be completely different. I have a large demographic of people. Most of my audience is above the age of 40. So you guys might want to look to retire early. All right, retiring early is going to allow you to achieve things like, well, this person over here, this happy couple, we can only assume happy couple, right? Out there looking at the wilderness. How fun is that? Every day is a new adventure. That might be your goal. If so, how much money do you need to achieve that? Well, what about if you want a new pad? What if you're someone who wants a new property? Okay, look at this nice property. That's definitely something I'm going to be looking to get myself. Well, how much do you have to get a new property like this, right? Maybe it's your dream house. Maybe you have enough money already, but you just want to surprise your wife or husband with this absolute behemoth just randomly out of the blue in 3 years, right? Well, how much do you need? And lastly, and my favorite, are you trying to make a crazy ex jealous? Now, I've got plenty of them without throwing shade. So that's part of the reason why I'd love a Bugatti Chiron, right? But it's not the full intention. I like to have a bit of fun myself. But if so, right, how much do you need? Okay, so in this case, again, you have to assess your goals. If it's a Bugatti Chiron worth about $2 million, if it's a new property, God knows how much one of those things are, probably $7 million depending where you live. Or if it's, you might be looking for 100K or 50K. It all depends, right? Life-changing wealth is a very subjective thing. That's why when I make these life-changing videos, sometimes people get up in the air when I say, hey, life-changing wealth could be 200K. Because for some people, they're putting in 200K. But again, it's always how many multiples you're looking at and stuff like that. So ultimately, guys, moral of the story, you won't know what you need to make or what altcoins to buy if you're looking towards the next week, next month, and even the next 12 months. You have to look 24 months and probably even 36 months, guys, the next 3 years. What are you going to do at the end of the bull run? And what comes after, okay? So think bigger. Now, this is not me going to be shilling here. I just want to point something out here. I've recently launched my course. So if you guys, or courses, should I say, the bundle package will end today. 50% discount on 3 courses. So literally, you're getting like the whole package almost for the same price as what one course will be. So I want to say if that interests you, it's going to be there. Links on top of the description. I'm not going to force anyone to go ahead and buy anything they don't want to. All I'm saying is just be prepared, right? These things are coming, and ultimately, might be our last chance. You hear so many YouTubers talking about it. I've been preaching this now for the last, God knows, 12 months. I strongly think, based on some of these larger issues that are coming up, you don't want to risk the chance that you hold tokens after this bull run and you don't capitalize. People might take that the wrong way. All it really is me essentially speaking to my younger self, or speaking to all you real humans out there that are watching me. I'm just a dude in a room trying to make all you guys a little bit wealthier. So that's the goal. That being said, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Really appreciate you all. If you've made it this far and you love what you've heard, drop a like. Helps me out a lot. With that being said, thanks so much. Talk to you all soon.